Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich and this is Savage Supercars. Today's impromptu video is about one of the brands that I really love, and they've just brought out a new supercar, and I just wanted to talk to you about the advantages over the existing running model, and which way I would go if it was my money, and which one I would love to see on the channel. So today we're going to talk about Lamborghini Huracan, and specifically the new Evo rear-wheel drive, and the difference between the rear-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive, and the significant benefits over one or the other. So that's really what I want to talk to you about today. So I think the first thing we need to talk about, I suppose, really just very briefly, is the history of Lamborghini. So a lot of people may or may not realize this, but Lamborghini originally started as agricultural tractor manufacturers back in the early 1940s, 1948. They were producing tractors and still produce tractors up to this day, ironically, but that's where they started. Now, they originally started building cars, supercars, as you and I would know them, in the early 60s. 1963 was when the first sort of Lamborghinis come off the production line, obviously in a very small limited number, and that's how we sort of would remember the history of Lamborghini, starting in sort of like the early 60s. Now, the tractor business was run a separately company, and eventually they merged with the car business in 1973. So they moved across as a separate entity to become one giant company. So Lamborghini have the agricultural business and obviously the car business, and obviously the car business is still currently there today. Now, they've had a lot of financial history over the years, you know, bailouts and that kind of thing, and different company interests. But obviously the biggest one would be Audi. Now, Audi purchased Lamborghini, or the Audi VW Audi group, Audi specifically, purchased Lamborghini in 1998, September of 1998. And the CEO at the time, he actually bought Bugatti and he bought Bentley at the same time. So he went out and he purchased all three companies at the same time. And that was his deal. And, you know, some purists will say the original Lamborghinis before Audi influence, you know, made them a bit more edgy, a bit more traditional Lamborghinis. But I think most people, if you've driven one of the more modern day Lamborghinis, having Audi's input, build quality and reliability, just took it to another level. Still has the Lamborghini edge, the rawness to it, what makes Lamborghini flamboyant and outstanding. But you have that reliability of the German engineering as well. So I think it's a good partnership personally. I think it's a very good partnership. Now, significantly, there's been quite a few cars over the years that have kind of been milestones in Lamborghini's history. And I'm not going to go into every model and every detail. These are just cars that, to me, spring to mind what brought Lamborghini to the forefront, you know, competing against directly with Ferrari and that kind of thing, really. So the Lamborghini Miura, which came out in 1966, and was produced until 1973, and really was their first absolutely stunningly beautiful supercar. It was the car that went head to head against the Ferrari Daytona, and it was absolutely beautiful. Still is absolutely beautiful, still fetching really good money now. And I think that sort of there's a generation that consider the Miura to be one of the rarest and most pleasurable Lamborghinis it's ever owned if you're a car collector. It's a stunning got. It really is. Now, the replacement for the Miura was the Lamborghini Countach, which came out in 1973 and was actually produced until 1990. There's a few variants on that. There was the Anniversary, the 5000 CV, but it was the iconic poster car for most generations. I'll admit, I had a Countach poster on my bedroom wall when I was a kid growing up. I remember a bright red Lamborghini Countach with massive rear whales tail. I think it was the largest rear production tyres ever made for a production car at the time. It was just unbelievable, the Countach, and it just changed the landscape of supercars, really. It took everything to another level. And even now the Countach, quite difficult to live with, quite difficult to drive and own. They do say don't drive your heroes, don't they? But stunning car, and really a true iconic supercar. It really is. Now, moving forward to the next generation, really, was the Diablo, which was out in 1990 and was produced until 2001. And I remember the Diablo being launched, and it was such buzz in the industry. It was just a completely different car, and it really sort of epitomized the Raging Bull ethos, if you like, of big engine, lots of noise, ridiculous styling, and just did what it was meant to do. It's spectacularly fast and just a really stunning car. And the Diablo, even now, highly regarded, still fetching big money. Beautiful car, the Gallardo, and definitely one that I would love to own. I haven't driven a Gallardo, sorry, a Diablo. I haven't driven a Diablo, but I have driven the next car. So the next car was the Gallardo, which was in 2003 to 2013. Now, there's lots of variants of that. They're actually a Performante version, Bilbao Racing Limited Edition version as well. And I actually drove a Gallardo at Brands Hatch last year on a race day, and it was amazing. I haven't got any footage. I wish I'd kept some footage of it because it was just unbelievable. It wanted to kill you. It was so much fun, but you knew it wanted to kill you. Any opportunity it got, it would kill you. It was just an amazing car. I don't think it's a car you could drive every day. I don't think any of these so far have been cars that you could drive every single day, but what a spectacular car to drive. I drove the coupe, obviously it was available in the Spider as well, but just another outstanding Lamborghini. And I know some of the Performantes now are still really holding their money, some of the SVs and that, they're really holding their money on the Diablo, the Gallardo, sorry. So definitely one to look at and consider if you're after that sort of thing. Moving now on to more present day, and obviously this is since Audi have took over and had far more influence to it. The Aventador. So the Aventador came out in 2011 and is still being produced today. It's still being produced, and lots of different variants to this. There's the S, the SV, and obviously more recently the SVJ, which is absolutely gorgeous. What an amazing car the SVJ really is, unbelievable. And the Aventador is a really beautiful looking car. Obviously sounds amazing, looks amazing, has that rawness, but obviously then the build quality of the Audi Lamborghini sort of partnership, if you like, the synergy between the two. It means you've got a stunningly beautiful Italian supercar, but reliability as well. Just amazing. And the Aventador, I mean, the original S now have come down quite nicely in price. They're a good buy second hand. The new SVJ, when they launched it, it was just unbelievable. It just looked absolutely, well, they took the covers off it at the Concours show over in America, and it just looked just unbelievable. We were just like, wow, okay, yeah, they really took it to another level. So yeah, the SVJ, the Aventador range is just amazing. And then you've got the Huracan, which is the reason for the video today, really. So the Huracan, original Huracan, came out in 2014 until last year, and really, again, changed the landscape of supercars because it looked amazing. It was really reliable. It sounded fantastic. Everything was there. It was a typical supercar from Italy with German support and reliability, and it just was beautiful. And obviously the final model of that range was the Performante, which I put in one of my videos. It's probably one of my all-time favorite cars, to be honest with you. But as of the end of last year, the last quarter of 2019, they brought out the Evo, so the Huracan Evo version. Now, when it first came out, it was up until April of this year, it was only available as an all-wheel drive car. So really beautiful car. Just some slight tweaks from the original Huracan, but you could tell the difference. The wheel design, some of the splitters, some of the spoiler situation placements were taking it to another level. So the Evo really took it, moved it forward from the original Huracan. Now again, the comes available in coupe and the Spider, and the coupe's about 198 grand. These are list price, guys. These are not, once you start speccing with specific leather and that kind of thing and added extra carbon, you're going to put the prices up, but list prices we're talking about here. So the all-wheel drive coupe is 198k and the Spider's 218k, both with 5.2 V10 engine, 630 brake, 201 mile an hour top speed, and a 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. And really was, and still is, a massively popular car. Absolutely stunning. The looks, just, you can tell an Evo over a standard Huracan. You can tell the difference if you know what you're looking for, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And I definitely would have had an all-wheel drive Evo. That was until last month. And obviously Lamborghini didn't want to sit back on their laurels, and they knew what was going on, so they've now brought out the rear-wheel drive version. Now, lots of journalists have driven this. I haven't driven this yet. Lots of journalists have driven this already, and the feedback is just absolutely amazing for what it is. So obviously it's a rear-wheel drive, not an all-wheel drive. It's 137k for the coupe, which is the one I'd probably have, 165 for the Spider. Still the 5.2 V10, but the engine's been down-tuned a little bit. It's 602 brake horsepower instead of 630. Still 201 mile an hour, and 0 to 60 is in 3.3 seconds. So, you know, not 0.4 of a second slower than the all-wheel drive, but not a massive difference in regards to, you would notice the difference when driving it. But absolutely amazing looking car. I mean, just looks fantastic. Now, the overview of the all-wheel drive, the rear-wheel drive over the all-wheel drive. So what they've done is obviously they've detuned the engine slightly. They've altered the springs, the dampers and anti-roll bars, and these are now 10% softer than the all-wheel drive engine. So it's a much softer, much more comfortable ride. What they've also done as well, they've been very clever with they've tuned their traction control, allowing power delivery in mid-power slide. So the power delivery is still there. I wouldn't take the traction control off. It's still a leery animal, but it's far more controllable, far more drivable. And when you're having a lot of fun with it, there's so much more feedback coming through the steering wheel. And the way that the traction control system is working is that it will deliver power even through a controlled power slide midway through. So it's absolutely far more enjoyable handling, fun car. It's a more compelling road car as well, that's the thing. So it still has the looks, it still has the sound, but it's a far more enjoyable, drivable car being the rear wheel drive setup that it is. The sound's amazing. The sound is absolutely outstanding for a Lamborghini. It really is crazy sound. It's something that you'd want to wake up to. Your neighbours might not like you very much, but it's something you'd want to wake up to every day. Just listening to that V10, just amazing. I love the way Lamborghini get it right. They make the sound right how it should be. So what you've got a far more balanced and comfortable Huracan Evo. It's so improved over the all-wheel drive system, and it's, at the moment, the journalists have driven it, so I haven't driven it yet, but the journalists have driven it saying it's one of the best Lamborghinis they've ever driven, and it's 137 grand. So, you know, it's still a lot of money, but it's cheaper than the sort of 198 for the all-wheel drive system. So yeah, I think price-wise, it's obviously it's right there where you want it to be. So my final thoughts really over the car will be that it's 137 grand for a 600 brake horsepower Italian supercar. Still got 200 mile an hour, still got the Italian looks, the styling, the flair, the passion that the Italians get right in their supercars. It looks, it sounds, the style of it, the driver appeal of the whole thing. It's a far more usable car. It's a far more enjoyable car. You know, just day-to-day usable supercar, if you like. I mean, a few journalists that have driven it just feel this new Evo is another level of supercar where it's a car you could drive every single day. You could drive it every day. It's not something that's just for weekends or just for special occasions. It's something that you could really, really drive every single day. So I say you've got the looks, the sound, the drivability, the comfort, the quality, and I definitely want one. I definitely want a rear-wheel drive Evo on the channel. I think it'll be amazing. You'd have to have it in either like a gunmetal grey but with bright orange interior, or the lime green with a you know, an ultra blue interior, just because it's Lamborghini. It has to be flamboyant. That's the whole point of it. It has to be different than everything else that's out there, you know. That's what Lamborghini do, and they do it really, really well. And even with Audi's influence and Audi's financial backing, I know a lot of purists were concerned that it would lose its flair, but I don't think it has. I think Lamborghini are selling cars more now than they've ever done, and even their previous models are still fetching good money. I think they've got it right. I think they've really got it right. So, guys, yeah, definitely the Lamborghini Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive, the new model. Coupe starting at 137 grand. Definitely one that I would look at, definitely one I would love to have on the channel, and something that I'd like to run with. So guys, that's it. Just a brief video today about something that's just come out, the rear-wheel drive version, and how much it changes the landscape and the dynamics of the supercar industry, and how much I want one, if I'm honest with you. So listen, guys, please stay safe. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for supporting the channel. We're still early days, but we're getting there. Subscribers are going up daily, views are going up daily. We've got so much content to give you. Once the lockdown has been lifted and it's safe to do so, we'll be out there driving cars, doing some day trips and tracks and road trips, and having lots and lots of fun, and bringing you guys along with us. We still want to buy a new car for the channel. That's still on the cards. Obviously we can't do anything at the moment, but once we can, that's going to happen. So Stay safe, guys. Stay tuned. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you soon. See ya. Bye, guys.